Welcome to Look and See Outdoors. We are on the Appalachian Trail, the Georgia section, a particular section in Georgia from Springer Mountain to Neal's Gap. Whew, we just climbed up out of 3 forks. Man, it was like a 300-foot gain in elevation in a half a mile. That was a tough one. Now trails kind of leveled out and it's a little smoother. We got a later start than what I was planning on, but we're moving on along up through here. All right, there's a lot of suck on this trail. It just seems like it's all uphill. We are working our way to Hawk Mountain Shelter, I believe. So all I know is we're going up this hill again. All right, so we made it to the destination. It wasn't our destination, but we made it to Hawk Mountain Shelter. And I'm so confused on the mileage. I think we did 7 miles today. Was resupplying the water source for the night. We've been talking about this water source. We have a friend who's been in the military for a long time. He's done a lot of stuff in the military, and he's been up in this area training, hunting, you name it. And he talks about these water sources, how clean they are, and you really don't need to filter them. If it's good, clear running water, that water's cold. Who's telling us that we need all these filters? I mean, I used the grill. So, some of us are drinking the water unfiltered, and I guess time will tell on that. A little protozoa in the water could mess your day up, and your night up, your weekend up. So, I don't know. I've always treated my water through some source of purification process. And golly, I think I'm in shape, but man, I get up in here and start just walking these trails and I'm not in shape. This is the trail that leads from the shelter down to that water source. So headed back up to the shelter now. Good morning, everybody. Just doing my morning duty, the privy. Kind of noticed something about these open air privies. They're not being done properly. Don't know if that's something's changed in the science of a moldering privy or it's laziness, but it's supposed to be a bin there with some shavings or like stump grinding, something of that nature. For when you do your business, you drop a handful or two down on top of it. That's what helps create that environment where those nematodes get in there, those microscopic worms, and help break down what we leave behind. And I noticed that's not there. Here we are at Hawk Mountain Shelter. This is the camping area around it. Water is down that way. We're about to get started back on the trail. It's about 8:30. Looking forward to moving on along this morning. So, let's see who's around here. All right, y'all say hello to YouTube.
Hello to YouTube. Hey, YouTube. Hey, you guys.
You guys. All right, well, we packed up. We're on the trail. Cecil Dale's leading us out. Jason bringing up our 6. These little side trails to the shelter adds just a little bit of step. Our goal today is, I believe it's called Woods Hole Shelter. That's 19 miles. It was tough yesterday, so we're gonna see how it goes. But we're about to get on the AT once again, heading north. All right, guys, we're about 3 miles from the shelter this morning. In this big old tree right here, there's some honeybees up in there. I can hear them. And I think I see them way up in there. I was walking through here. We just come up out of this little gap, and I can hear them. I don't know if you hear that humming noise. That's them honeybees. All right, the AT is an amazing trail. I know there are people on it right now that are on their way south from Maine to where we started there at Springer Mountain. And people who started back in, some people as early as January and February. I think the annual Exodus pilgrimage is March or April. Excuse me. Heading north from Springer Mountain. We are on a 2 night and a bit hike. We spent our first night at Hawk Mountain Shelter. I know when I was looking at planning this hike, I misjudged this. I mean, I gotta work on that. So today we're just going until we get to where we stop. And we got 30 miles total. Not today, but for the whole trip this weekend. And we've got probably 10 to 12 miles completed so far. Somewhere in there. Anyway, moving along. I forgot how tough this trail is here in Georgia. I did it back in 2005, and it took me a week. It's about 70 plus miles. We're doing 30 miles this weekend. Oh Lord, but of course I'm 20 years older, so that's gonna play a factor. Where we at here? Little stopping point. All right, good morning once again. We're on the trail. We are at Gooch Mountain. I think we're at the top, or close to the top. We stayed at Gooch Mountain Shelter last night. We have changed our destination due to the time factor versus the distance. The 30 miles we had originally planned, we're going to wind up doing right about 20 miles after today. I definitely forgot how challenging this part of the trail in Georgia is. Yesterday we had some steep elevation gain. So we got to the shelter yesterday to take a break, and storm was moving in, so we just decided to stay there, and we're gonna get off at Woody Gap sometime this late morning, early afternoon. It's a beautiful morning. Some of that bluebird sky. We rested up, but still feel like garbage, don't we, guys? Yeah, yeah, buddy. So we're moving on along. I made a little recording and took some pictures at the shelter last night, but and this morning, but my phone was in airplane mode, and I guess they don't record your pictures and videos when it's in airplane mode. Something I learned. So anyway, here we are this morning, back at it. Here we are at some beautiful overlook.
Yeah, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Beautiful North Georgia mountains. And a fine specimen of a bear, Cecil Dale. Yeah.
That bear got on human clothes.
Got on human clothes. This is the prettiest overlook we got to, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
That's beautiful. Whew. Somewhere back in there, we camped the night at Gooch Gap. Wasn't it back in there somewhere?
Over that first ridge, I think. First or second ridge. But yeah, that's Gooch Gap that runs. You can see the
Somewhere.
saddleback.
Right in there, yeah. There.
Coming up.
There's Jason. What you eating, man? Oh, I thought you had some jerky. Give us some scale how beautiful that is. Can you? It don't show up well when you doing a selfie. What you say there, Bobby? We don't know what overlook this is, but it is a pretty one. Pretty one. All right, that was beautiful. Stop and overlook. We've reached the top of this mountain. Not sure the name of this one. I'll have to look at the map. We're gonna ease on along here. We've been going this morning a little bit over an hour. We got about 2 miles done since we left the shelter. And we had from the shelter to our pickup destination, which will be Woody Gap. It was about 4.6 or so miles. This hike has been much needed. If we'd had tonight to do again, we might have been able to make our original destination back up to Neal's Gap hiking. We'll make it today via vehicle. So, learned a lot this weekend. Always learning. We'll discuss some of that later on as we move along. 2 phrases it's kind of stuck with me. Carrying our fears. I think I talked about that earlier. Carry too much, but it's all about fear, doing without. And then we got our fault summits. That's another one. We'll discuss that sometime later on too. All right, I thought I would do an idea of how it is climbing these hills, for me anyway. And what I'm relearning about myself. 20 years ago when I came up through here, I was 34 and I had a job then. I think I was still reading meters. So reading meters back in the day, I would average probably 12 to 14 miles on any given day, walking, reading meters. Plus the factor I was the 20 years difference in age, and now I'm feeling it. So I'm gonna have to work on my cardio when I get home and get that better, because this is tough. And it goes on up and up. So thought I'd share that with y'all. Alright guys, so we're coming up to our destination of Woody Gap. Hey, there's civilization, there's cars. Woody Gap. Cecil Dale and Woody Gap sign. Yee. We're almost there. All right, feels good to finally reach our point where we're gonna get picked up and we'll get back to our vehicle. Hopefully we're gonna be able to get some showers up at the that store crossing. I can't think of the name of it there in Neal's Gap. All right, how's it feel? Feel good? Woody Gap. Ooh, a lot of people out hiking today. Woody Gap. Yeah. All right, so
y'all, I reckon
we hiked that.
We're gonna try to get us
right at 20 miles.
And a shower when we get to the store.
Getting rid of the trash. Hike it in, hike it out. That's what you got to do.
Been here about 10 minutes maybe. Yeah. Thank you, Lord.
All them people out there on the trail getting
Man, on the
Oh,
rock.
oh yes. Waiting on a ride here at Woody Gap, and the bottom has fallen out. How many miles we do? 19.7 from Springer all the way to Woody Gap. Actually, take off about 0.9 tenths of a mile, because we didn't actually start at Springer, we started at that parking lot. Alright guys, just got back home. I don't know, about maybe an hour ago, and pulled up, noticed water all up in our driveway here, and we have a leak from the main. It was boiling out of the ground here. But what I'm thinking is the leak, straight as line, is right here. So I'm trying to locate this line, fix this leak. All right, so it's early morning workout. Ran out of daylight. I think you can see the split right there, the tree, and it's actually grown into that root system. And then I've got to get this. Oh man, this is tough, but you know, hopefully I'm figuring this out. Yee. This is definitely. Ooh, chum, I got fire ants down here with me. All right. That's an obstacle. I get to this point, get that cleared. Thank goodness for these things. Ooh, Lord, thank you. All right, I finally got it to where I believe I can make the repair. There was a crazy root. I don't know what I did with it. And I don't know if you can see, yeah. That's where it had grown around the pipe. And it was right in there. So the pipe was coming and weaving through. So I'm gonna have to make a little cut over here, and then I'll make one right here. And I hopefully can get this repaired properly. All right. I got the line finally where I can cut it, where I did cut it, and I'm gonna have to get some pieces to bypass that because the line kind of straightened back out. It had been pushed this way by that tree growing. So I think I can get this where it'll be better and get our water turned back on. The line kind of canted. When I planted these trees, I could see some of the old trench line, and there's the meter, and it should have been right through here, but it's over this way more. Anyway, live and learn. So now I got to get the parts and get it pieced back together. All right, well, I got that leak repaired, and I gave it a good bit of time. It held, and it's rained some, so now I got to fill the hole back in. Guess y'all can see that. Had to make a little bypass around the tree. And it's holding, so far I haven't had any more issues. Well, I made it to the shelter. We are definitely having some hot weather. I'm ready for the fall and winter, but we still have we'll give a bit of time before we'll get a break. Gotta get down here and do some straightening up. And the spiders, this is like Mirkwood Forest walking down through the trail to get here. But everything's in pretty good shape. Hope this video is going to be a good one. From the highs of North Georgia mountains hiking. Man, the challenge of that trail I had forgotten. over time how challenging that trail was. From what I understand, when they first started developing that trail, they were just going up and down those mountains, and then every now and then you'd hit those switchbacks. I think it was Sassafras, maybe. It was Sassafras Mountain, I believe. There was some switchbacks, and it made it so much more enjoyable as far as climbing those steep hills. And the elevation in there is pretty high, 3,000-4,000 feet in some of those areas. Our goal was to make it to Blood Mountain. We didn't. We had to cut it short. We just ran out of time, and we're going to go back up there and just do sections as we go along. But getting back home and discovering that water leak, that was a challenge for me. Thankful that I was able to get that thing fixed. We just spent one night without water, and then the next day, when I finally got to the pipe and I seen what was going on, I just, like I showed earlier, just made a little bypass, and it works, and got water back on. But that's the part of being a homeowner. You just have things you have to do from time to time, keep maintenance up and keep things repaired and in good working order. Well, I do hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you find something insightful, enjoyable about being in the woods. It sounds like I hear somebody walking. So y'all take it easy, and it's been a while since I put a video out, so we'll see how this one does. Y'all take care. See ya.